So every time I touch it, it seems to move. So basically what we have here is week 5 to myself of a Uber Eats challenge, I guess. And what I can do with the cryptocurrency, I decided to choose one which you can, I guess, produce more of itself if you burn it and then mint some of your own. Also on a new one called pulsechain.com. Well, called Pulsechain. I guess you go to pulsechain.com to find out more about that if you're interested. But basically, we go here, and I made, on the best day this week, it was a very quiet week, about 162.75 for one day. So that is not bad. It was about 4 hours worth of work. I think I calculated that though, about all up about 6 hours travel. It wasn't 6 hours straight, and it wasn't one of those 12-hour shifts that you can do on the app. If if you're really keen, maybe you do something like that, or maybe just get another job, I don't know, and then bring in that income, And so that's what I decided to do. And from the whole week, I thought, well, I can afford, say, 20, 30, 40, 50 bucks to put away, maybe 100, especially with some of the dips that we have seen on I don't know if you call it the suite of products, but Pulsechain, PulseX, INC, and Hex. Now, you could go into the INC farming because maybe that's almost like another business that you could set up, but that's a different story for another day. The point of what I'm trying to achieve here is 52 weeks straight to put away small amounts, and it feels good personally to buy Hex again and buy Pulsechain. To I buy that first, and then I buy Hex, and then from there I'm creating some ladders, and basically the yield so far has been around about 7 to 8%, averaging that for very short terms. Basically what I'm doing is you could do a 15-year time frame, which would, I would say, give you the most Hex, because you basically get, say you put in 10,000 units of Hex, you end up with 30,000 at the end of that period. But with these smaller ones, comparing them head to head with, say, something like a term deposit, which is what we have here in Australia, we have 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, 6 months, 7 months, 12 months. There used to be, I swear there used to be 30-day, 45-day, 60-day, 90-day, but I can't see them. Maybe they're for larger amounts, because you can see here, if you wanted to put $20 away, and you wanted to get 4.75% on top of that, you wouldn't even qualify, because the minimum amount is 10,000. So you kind of capped out at that. Now, I guess this target is for just like side hustles, just small amounts, not your main sort of earnings. But all in all, it's working out in a very interesting pattern for myself. Basically, if we go over here to the spreadsheet, now I've lost my, go to the spreadsheet. Now I just put weeks, days. You can't quite see that, but the column on the left starts at number 2, should start at number 1. But that's like 1 week. I've also got next to that the amount of days. So parallel to the what I'm trying to do here with 52 weeks of DCAing into a cryptocurrency during a period where the Bitcoin halving is taking place in less than 6 days, which is kind of interesting. Because usually what follows that, we've seen sort of increases across the board, generally speaking. But we have a look here. What I'm trying to do, if you can see the spreadsheet, see I've got credit card paid off. So I've got a small credit card amount at the same time as putting money away into cryptocurrency and then creating these ladders, maybe 30, 45, 60, and 90-day periods, timeframes. Maybe I increase it later on. Once you start filling out these ladders, it gets very interesting, because you see here, well, I think it gets very interesting looking at the numbers, and depending on what the price does. And again, it keeps dropping out. I'm not sure why that is. As soon as I touch it, it doesn't like sharing the old Excels. All right, so okay, I think that's going to share. Does not like it. All right, cool. But if you started you burn some Hex around, started a miner, began a stake around this first week, right? And then you put it away for, say, 30 days. What happens is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like the fifth week in, you're actually going to be putting another amount away if you doing it as I'm doing it. And basically, then when you're putting that amount away, you'll mint some fresh hex potentially on that same day or around the same time. And then what happens is a compounding effect on top of that. So on top of the T-share mechanism that sort of is the backbone of the hex ecosphere, you then have this compounding effect because you're constantly putting more in on a weekly basis. If stakes start coming out, then the amount gets larger that you then create a new stake with, or burn, or create another miner with. What that means is, if you're not using it, it's sort of like a term deposit, for example. I try to use that as an example because people can relate to that maybe in Australia. You'll see at the end of the time frame of the entire 52 weeks, right? I'm very curious as to how much it would be worth, because currently it's actually underperformed. The price has dropped a little bit over the last 4 weeks, so the amount I've put in, burnt away, even though it's nothing at the moment, when I mint it, if the prices are as they are now, then the amount will be less than what I initially purchased, which is a bad outcome, I would say. However, the idea is, if you continue to do this over long periods of time, and the price maybe goes back to equilibrium, the initial investment amount, maybe even it goes past that, or it sort of gets headed sideways, but you still get this new extra hex that you sort of mined yourself, you mint from nowhere, then basically you'll see a point where, well, I'm hoping to see a point where I'll have my credit card paid off, and then also this sort of, not a perpetual, but this ongoing staking ladder. Because already I've noticed, because I'm choosing different time frames, 30, 45, 60, 90, the ladder's already heading out to about week, if this was a month, it's 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, 5. It's already headed out to about here, the ladders. And so every 2 weeks, what's happening is you're seeing a pattern sort of like trend like this. Let's have a look. So, what is it? Week 1. And say you send it out from here, like 4 weeks, right? Then all of a sudden you've got one ending, and then you're creating a new one. And then you do the same. Maybe it comes out here, maybe you do it under here. There's 2, right? But then say this extra one that you then created, if you're sending that out, let's have a look. Maybe another 30 days, 45, whatever, a month. These are just monthly intervals as well. You'll see this 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 here. And then that one, like, it gets very interesting. And you can then sort of, I would personally maybe compound them and make them larger. And then you'll see when it's time to end stake, there'll be less end staking or mining or minting to do, because if you do like the same one continuously and then you have multiples, so you have like 100 hex and then you have another 100, it's like 200 hex, 300 hex, you got 3 100. It's like easy just maybe to have 1 300 one. But yeah, so based on that, it's not doing too bad. Now, I'll see when this ends in 52 weeks, right? I'm thinking that what is going to happen is hopefully it's going to be worth more than what I invested in, which you do have to keep mindful of that. Be mindful of that. And basically, it will serve almost as a savings account, because you will have effectively bought some cryptocurrency, which I'm doing, and then sitting on it. And instead of just sitting on it and hoping the price goes up, because if the price does go up, then maybe it's worth more. But if the price goes up and at the same time you're also getting more of it, when it comes time to mint some fresh hex, like it's going to be worth more. And if that is the case, that's kind of cool, because already I've forgotten, well, not forgotten, but I haven't really heavily attached myself to the ones that I did create off the first 4 weeks. Now I'm just like, they're just sitting there. It's already gone. It's like, when you put money into I think of this. You put money into your car to fill up for gas. It's like, it's gone. You don't really think, oh shit. I mean, yeah, you can with the gig economy stuff. Maybe you're claiming that on however you're doing that, but yeah, it's sort of like that. It's just sort of gone. And then at the end of the 52-week period, I'm going to be like, huh, I've got this much now. And it all stemmed from, ideally, you could calculate, say it's $20 a week. What is that? We'll do that one quickly. Now, the reason I thought this is not a bad experiment is because I remember seeing someone else do this, and I remember they were purchasing Solana at the time, and it was about, I think, $9 per token. I'm like, I wonder how much that would be worth now if they were able to hold it, because something like Hex and it gives you the ability to be able to hold it. So we do, so 1,040 US, mind you. So taking into account the, at the end of 52 weeks, if I've got $1,040 worth of tokens, Hex tokens, I will be no worse off. If I have less, that'll be a bad outcome. If I have more, then I'll want to see how much more. Is it going to be a lot more or just a little bit more? Based on the current, estimated, I guess, payout, but it depends per day on how it actually is calculated. It's looking at about 7 to 8%, which is more than a term deposit. So the fact that, although you can get online savings account, which may offer you the same amount, I like the fact that you will be able to put this money away as a sort of savings, and although maybe a bit more complex for tax reasons and things like that, but not too bad. But then if you put it away, at the end of it, you have a little bit more, plus you created some more from nowhere, maybe, just maybe, you will be up just a little bit, especially if it retains at 7%, especially if the price goes sideways. And if the price happens to go up in like 310 days or something from now, maybe, just maybe, you're in a lot better position. And then not just that, if you continue to do these ladders once a week, and you're pushing them out for various time frames, and you keep doing this, by the end of the 52-week period, you might, in theory, you're gonna have about 52 different stakes or miners in place, or you might have a few larger ones because you sort of rolled them and turned them into larger ones. So that is going to be, I haven't planned this out. I'm just sort of doing it on the fly and just seeing where this goes, and then maybe I'll put some screenshots of the ladders at the end of it. But already it's impressing me a lot, except for the price is down. But being my the way I think is that, well, if I was putting this into something like Super, I wouldn't be able to touch this for like another, until you retire, your retirement age, whatever, which is a long way away. So the fact that I can touch it now, play around with it, it's kind of cool. And like I said, I've always had a dream to have about a term deposit every week ending, which would mean I would have income every week coming through and I wouldn't have to work. And then when this came out, I thought, this is good. I might be able to do this. And then Ethereum came out and wrecked all the prices. But now, because of Pulse Chain, it's a lot cheaper to do this. And I might just get my, like, not infinite, but ongoing sort of term deposits, which I've always kind of never been able to achieve. But yeah. So hopefully we'll see how this goes, and hopefully the yield is good, the return is good, and when I mint some more, hopefully they're worth more. So that is about it. Like I said, can you possibly survive solely off of something like gig economy? It would be hard, maybe. Depends on other things, but so far I've noticed it's more like it's literally a side hustle at this point in time. Yeah, you could work probably. I like it though, the hours, flexibility, things like that. You get to meet new people, to travel around if you want. What else? But yeah, and yeah, so I don't mind it. You could, if you wanted to go insane, you could probably like get that amount every day, but keep in mind, you'd be like the amount of Ks you're traveling, the amount of fuel you'd be using, and things like that. You might wear and tear your car pretty harshly. But you earn more, so maybe you don't care as much. Maybe you get it serviced a bit more regularly, or use some high quality parts. I don't know. But yeah, that's about it. Having fun buying Hex again. I don't know if anyone else is actually doing this anymore. But maybe it's just gonna be. There's probably a few others you see on. I like to check the Hex screen every now and then, but yeah. I don't mind doing this. I think it's fun. I think it's going to work out well. And maybe, just maybe, in about, a year, 2, 3, 4, 5 years, maybe by the next Bitcoin halving, I'll be like, huh, thank fuck I did that, because most likely I'm going to keep rolling these rolling ladders, stakes, miners, and, yeah, basically make something from nothing, because, what else is there to do? I don't know. All right, so yeah, free speech signing out, and good luck everyone in your whatever you're doing. But yeah, if you're not even slightly DCAing into something that is really cheap right now across the board, I'm not sure when else you would. Like if you've got money, just idle capital, and it's not getting even any sort of interest at all, maybe it's not the best way to deal with your money. I know. Could be crazy. And maybe just maybe that's why DeFi is becoming so popular. Maybe some of the centralized exchange stuff, but after we've seen what happened, like if they disappear, then what? So maybe you find something that you're able to get yield comparable, if not better, to sort of traditional finance, equities or whatever, managed funds. And it's wouldn't you rather do that if you learn how to use it? I don't know. Just seems logical to me. All right. Yeah. All right. I'll leave it there. Hang on. I'll make sure this is streaming. And all right. Good. Nah, that's all good. All right. So yeah, free speech signing out.